Hello again. I thought I would make a video describing how I make money as an artist. And I've been doing this for 20 something years, probably about 23 years now. It's been a long time. And I've done many different things over those years, but mainly I've been an independent freelance artist. So I've only ever had one job where I've actually been employed and gone to work at a different location than my house. And that was back in 2019, working at Procreate in Tassie. So that was a pretty cool experience, and I could probably make a video about that at some stage. But how do I make money currently as an independent freelance artist? Bread and butter job is board games. I do artwork for a game called Summoner Wars, published by Plaid Hat Games. And they contacted me through Instagram, I think, of all things, or they found me on Instagram and emailed me back in 2017 offering me a gig on a board game they were making called Crystal Clans. And with a little negotiations on prices and things like that, I accepted, and that was probably one of the best things I've done in my career, financially and to grow as an artist, because it was a shit ton of work. It lasted like about 2 years, I think, on Crystal Clans. Hundreds and hundreds of character art created for that game. And the deadlines were tough. So it was a lot of work. But it helped me in so many different ways. So I don't want to get off track here. How do I make money as an artist? I'm still working for Plaid Hat Games. We're currently working on a game called Summoner Wars, which was released in 2021, and we just continue to do expansions to the game. So about every month and a half, I have a whole bunch of new artwork to make for them. It's usually about 8 characters for a new faction that gets implemented into the game. And that gets me enough money to kind of scrape by. Rent is a lot here. And this family is running solely on my income. So that is my bread and butter. That's like the stable kind of job. I'm pretty certain that they will give me a very good heads up if the work is going to stop or change. So it's kind of secure in that way, but freelance work is never really entirely secure. So on the flip side of that, I do my own work. I make my own books and make my own products and things like that. It's a bird. So every couple of years, I put out a new art book. Currently, I've been kind of doing like sketchbooks, art books, that are just a whole bunch of sketches and finished pieces collected in one book called Wonderings. We've had 2 volumes so far, which have been put on Kickstarter. The first one, I can't remember what the final amount was, but it was successful. The second one went even better because it was twice as big, and that got funded about $69,000, which is amazing. It's the best Kickstarter I've ever done. Unfortunately, all of that money just disappeared on expenses and some debts that I had to pay and things like that, and having a baby. And so people see the figure that you make on Kickstarter and like, oh, we must be rich. No, I'm scraping by. But I'm existing and we're doing fine, relatively. So bread and butter is Summoner Wars. I do Kickstarters with my books, and I have a whole bunch of books from those Kickstarters that I'm still selling on my store. And shows are another thing. So Comic-Cons, and art fairs and things like that. Not really kind of doing them at the moment because I had a baby, but I'm really hoping to get back into that next year. So I don't know how many shows I might do, but let's at least a couple, and they could be a weekend where you hopefully make at least $2,000. The last shows I've did were just terrible, but they've been good in the past, and you can make some decent money. On top of that, I have a Patreon, and I've had a Patreon since about 2016. In its peak, it was really good. I was making enough to pay my mortgage every month just from Patreon. But over the years, my enthusiasm, my effort has also dwindled, and therefore the income that has provided has dwindled as well. Recently, kind of tried to bring it back, but I think the market has changed. Maybe the interest in my work has changed, so it's not really doing nearly as well as it used to. But that does help, bring in I don't know, probably about like $500 a month or something like that, which really, really helps when you're just getting by. So Patreon, and then I have all my digital products on my store. So I have digital versions of my sketchbooks, and I have brushes. So bird is just flying past me every few seconds. Actually, I'll show you. These are my friends, Tatu and Mahano. I can't remember what her name is. My partner named her. Hello, guys. You're beautiful. Interrupting my ranting about work. I'll feed you in a minute. Procreate brushes. So back when I was working at Procreate, I was doing a Q&A job. So I was testing the app. And they implemented the brush making feature in the app and didn't really tell us how it worked. So it was up to us to kind of figure it out. And I thought, well, what better way to figure out a brush making engine than to make my own brushes? And so I set a task for myself. I'm going to create brushes that I really love. So that's what I did. And that was also one of the best things I have ever done, because they popped off. I put a lot of effort into them, but I also put a lot of effort into marketing them and making videos about them and things like that. And they are still selling, thank God, because the money that is coming through from that is extremely helpful. It's kind of just plateauing at the moment. I don't really promote them very much at all. Primarily, the sales are coming from Gumroad, and the sales from that are generally coming from YouTube, which I don't really make many YouTube videos anymore. But in the past, I think, people find those videos and they eventually hop on somehow and grab the brushes. I'm not at a point where I can just live off brush sales. I wish I could, because then I could have, way more time to focus on the things that I want to do. But it's still pretty good. It's probably about, $150 a week. And that's for me pretty much doing nothing, which is absolutely amazing. And it's made me realize that I don't want to be a slave to commission jobs and freelance jobs for the rest of my life, because they can be unreliable and it is a grind. So I've really tried to make sure that I work on building something that generates passive income. Brushes are a prime example of that. On the other hand, I don't want to exploit it and come across as fake and not genuine. I only ever want to make brush sets when I feel like I have something good to share, which is why I haven't put out a brush set for like 2 years at least. But I really do need to capitalize on that, because it is a good little income earner. What else? Commissions, like traditional commissions, I do those as well every now and then. I just did an A3 commission for $1,500, which is the most I've ever charged, I think, for an A3 commission. But when you've been working for 23 years, you have to put your price up. The world changes and everything is expensive right now. So anyway, I probably missed a whole bunch of things, but this video is getting way too long now. So if you've got any questions about how I do things and how I make money and stay afloat, let me know. Hello again. Thank you for watching this video. It was very impromptu because I'd made it for TikTok, and I've actually been using my very small TikTok account to document my graphic novel writing journey. So if that is something that interests you, I'm posting every day on TikTok, just for like a minute or so, describing what I'm doing on this like little challenge. For 90 days, I'm getting up at 5 a.m. every morning and writing my story. And it's very exciting, and it's got a lot of ups and downs, and so go check that out if you're interested. On the other hand, yes, this video is very kind of slapped together, but like I just really don't have the time to make polished, professional looking YouTube videos. And to be honest, I can't be because life is hard enough being a new dad and trying to make this business run, and every algorithm just kind of doesn't work. So I'm just going to do things that are easy for me. And I hope that you guys will be along for the ride. I'd like to talk about other things as well in future videos. Always try and put some artwork next to my little ramblings. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.